Hi, this is Alexis from Kiteboarder Magazine. We're here at 2015 Surf Expo with 007. Danny, how you doing at the North booth?
Yep, it's good to see you, Alexis.
Great.
So yeah, we've got some surfboards here. You want to check them out?
I want to check them out.
All right, well, we'll start off with our standard construction boards. So our standard construction is back. We've been working on it with the factory for the last few years, and it's super solid, it's super light. Our boards come in around 3.5 kilos. It's been working for us. They hold up well. We're sticking with the same construction for most of our boards. And really we'll start off with our all-around boards. We've got two options for all-around boards. We brought out last year our CSC, the compact surf shape. And so if you want an all-around compact surfboard, the advantage of the compact surfboard obviously is we've got straighter rails and a little bit flatter board. You chop off the nose. It makes it cut through chop a little bit better. It makes it go upwind really well. It has a lot of advantages. So for the people that like these advantages in a surfboard, what we would recommend for our all-around board is the whip. This is the whip right here. She's a real beauty. One of the things I should also point out is we're going with a fully new fin box. Here's the new fin boxes. So what was happening is we had future fin boxes that have the single screw going in back there, and the tolerances are so tight on that because if you have slightly wider box than a fin, the fin will jiggle around. So you have to get them so tight that it's sometimes hard to get the fin in or out, especially if there's any sand in there. So basically we got rid of the rear screw, we opened up the tolerance a little bit, and we went in with screws from the side to hold it in place. So all of our fins are coming, all of our boards are coming with the G10 fins, the Futures fins, and it'll also work with any aftermarket Futures fins. So this is the new box. It was designed by North. So this board has obviously got a really wide tail. So this is going to work really well in small river swell or lake swell. It's really playful. It picks up just a tiny bit of swell. It's fun. But for the smaller sizes, we've also kind of scaled down. So the big size, the 5.6, is really similar to what we had last year. It's got a lot of volume to it. It works really well in light wind for bigger guys. But we've scaled the smaller sizes down a good bit. So they're really playful, they turn a lot quicker, and they'll work actually as the surf gets a little bit bigger. So this works as a really good all-around board, particularly good at picking up small river or lake swell. And that is the whip. Let's get rid of that thing.
Let's get rid of it. Move on to the next one.
Move on. Another all-around board. If you're looking for an all-around board, standard construction, but you want to keep with the traditional surf outline, we've got the Wham. This has long been our most popular board. It's sort of our all-around. It's the board we market as Sky takes it everywhere with him. So you can see if you want to get a good look at the whole board. It's a beautiful
Look at that flow. Look at that flow, folks.
So this board has actually been completely redesigned. It's still similar to the old Wham in that it's meant to be the one board quiver, but he's sort of taken a page out of the CSC book where you get wider up front and through the tail, so that if you look at the actual numbers, this board is narrower than last year, but because it gets so wide up front and holds the width all the way through the bottom, it acts like a wider board. So it picks up the smaller stuff a little better. Last year's board was meant more for committed to slightly bigger swell. This will still pick up smaller swell, and it still holds up really well through bigger swell. So this is still going to be the one board all-around quiver killer for people that want a traditional surf shape.
So with more volume, you can get into the wave earlier.
It's actually not a lot more volume. It's just it's wider up front and through the tail. It's a little bit thinner, and we've taken out a little bit of the rocker in the tail. So yeah, it works a little bit better in smaller waves, but it still holds up really well in bigger waves.
Awesome. Let's move on to the next one.
All right. Now we get into the sick new Pro construction. This is fun, exciting stuff. So basically our boards are really light and really strong. We weren't happy enough with that. We wanted a lighter, stronger board. So we got rid of the inserts in the front, which saves us some weight. At the same time, it gets not only are the inserts adding weight, but the reinforcement around the insert adds some weight because you've got to put a ton of reinforcements around it. So we get rid of all of that weight. On top of that, on the bottom side, ooh,
nice and clean.
And the old boards and the standard construction, you would have 45-degree glass, like very heavy 45-degree glass going underneath your feet, and a lot of it. That's just to make the board strong enough so you're not going to break it or dent it. We got rid of all that weight. That adds weight and stiffness by putting in a stringer of carbon fiber under here. That loses a lot of weight and makes the board a little livelier. One of the magic lively bits about about all of our boards is the cork that lies just underneath the wood on the deck. So on our standard construction, you've got a sheet of cork running the whole length of the deck, which is great. It makes the board feel lively. It helps with heel dents. It's sort of the magic ingredient in our boards. The problem with cork is it absorbs a lot of the resin. So what we did was we took out the sheet and added 4-inch strips where your heels go. So you still got the magic juice, but you just don't have all the added weight. It drops about 30% off the weight of the cork. So these boards are significantly lighter. They come in around 3 kilos. I don't know really anyone else that is able to do this out of production for the same price point that we're doing. And it feels great under your feet, and it's been holding up really well. We've had boards out for about 6 months and haven't had any issues with them. So the first shape we've got, if you like this pro construction, you want to get into something a little more hollow and a little steeper waves and get into the critical section, this board's going to be a little better than the Whip. It's still the CSC, so you get a lot of the advantages in terms of the straight outlines and the lowered rocker. And because it's got lowered rocker, it'll still work in smaller stuff, but really this board is going to do a little bit better when you get into bigger, hollower waves. So we still say it'll work in small stuff, but if you're looking for a board with the CSC shape that'll get you into bigger stuff, the Pro is the way to go. And this is the Pro CSC.
Awesome.
Gary? Next up, I think this is the board I'm going to be rocking a lot. With this same Pro construction, we've got the Pro Surf. So this is for people that like a traditional surfboard, want to get out in lanes and want to do double overhead waves. It's still got, the tail is actually really similar to the Wham, but so you can use it in smaller stuff. It's not like a gunny board that has to be used in bigger waves, but it's really meant to be used in
heavier conditions
where you want tighter turns, quicker turns, stay in the hollow critical section of the wave. This is the board to do it. Still got our beautiful Pro construction with the carbon stringer. It's still super light. It's got the new fin boxes. This board kind of has it all.
Awesome.
Yep, this is the Pro Surf. Thank you. Next up is the Nugget. So for years, Sky's been trying to improve on the Nugget, and for years he has failed. So they've been having the same shape Nugget for the last 3 years or so. This year, our CEO actually went to visit Sky and said, I really love the Nugget. It's the board that he rides most. He said the biggest problem is, and it was a traditional shape, he said, as I carve really hard toe side, the water's hitting that nose and it's catching it and I'm going over the handlebars. We got to fix this.
Cut the nose.
Cut the nose. So that's what they did. They took a page off the CSC book. They've made the Nugget a CSC shape, so it's cut off. So you get the advantages. You get the straight rails, lower rocker, goes better upwind, cuts better through chop. And because you don't have that nose sticking in where you're carving, you tend to be able to carve better on it. So it works better as someone who wants to get into small waves and cut around and have a lot of fun. But it still works amazingly well, even better as a light wind board. So this board is better in all ways than the old Nugget shape. And it's a standard construction, has our new fin boxes. It's still great for someone that wants a light wind board, and it works really, really well for small, crappy chop. And then of course we've got the Woohoo back. This is just like the Wham, all-around board for women, just scaled down for women. It's got the wider nose, wider tail. Great board for women looking to get into all conditions.
Now, I know you didn't really talk about all the different sizes and all the real technical functions of the board. Where can they find more info?
You can go to www.northkites.com or go see your local retailer.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Danny.
Yeah, thank you, Alexis.